Imagine waking up at exactly 7 a.m., shutting off your spontaneous choices. Every movement is mechanical. You do not smile, you do not improvise. A recent science experiment tested this exact scenario to see if treating a human life like a programmable machine could optimize productivity. The result was the opposite. Stripping away natural instincts in favor of total predictability caused rapid psychological collapse. This matrix outlines the 4 rules participants followed. First, every action adhered to a strict schedule. Second, meals and bathroom breaks happened at exact times. Third, emotional reactions were forbidden. Fourth, tasks were executed mechanically, without creativity. The human brain expects to make hundreds of small decisions an hour. When you remove that capability and force a purely mechanical routine, it generates an intense, immediate friction that breaks the biological system instead of optimizing it. The experiment began sharply at 7 a.m. In theory, perfectly quantifying a daily schedule, down to exactly 30 push-ups, 20 setups, and 15 squats on the dot, promises a highly predictable, flawless output. This T-chart compares those intended operational benefits with the actual observed drawbacks. While precise task execution and predictable output sit on the left, severe friction and awkward execution dominate the right. Routine motions like brushing teeth, making coffee, and walking to work felt heavily unnatural. Participants could no longer choose their meals based on taste or slightly adjust their posture at their desks. Removing the ability to make these minor, spontaneous adjustments throughout the day introduced an unexpectedly high level of baseline stress. This highlights a concept called micro-autonomy. Micro-autonomy is the continuous psychological need to exercise small, personal freedoms in daily life. Stripping away these minor choices removes the brain's natural release valves, leading directly to rapid burnout. Total predictability looks flawless in a spreadsheet, but when applied to biological organisms, it proves entirely incompatible with long-term human endurance. Physical restrictions were only half the experiment. Participants also had to suppress all emotions. They answered questions using precise, short sentences, avoiding humor, varied vocal tones, or even a simple smile. This timeline tracks the participants' psychological state. The line drops steadily from unnatural tension at 7 a.m. into frequent communication breakdowns by midday. Extending into the afternoon, the drop accelerates. Forced neutrality caused profound mental numbness, leaving participants drained, irritable, and disconnected. Without basic emotional cues, colleagues could not read intent or tone. Misunderstandings spiked rapidly. It turns out that emotions are highly functional communication tools that guide decisions and build necessary workplace relationships. Enforcing emotional neutrality does not streamline teamwork. Instead, it actively degrades both team communication and the individual's cognitive stamina. Treating human workers as programmable units optimized purely for output eventually shatters the system. The theory of peak efficiency collapses under the weight of biological reality. This structural model displays the 3 essential elements required for any viable long-term workflow. To prevent psychological exhaustion, systems must incorporate pillars for micro-autonomy, emotional bandwidth, and flexibility. Allowing daily flexibility and small, spontaneous choices acts as a necessary pressure relief valve. This is the primary mechanism humans use to manage stress, process information, and sustain long-term productivity. You cannot achieve sustainable operational efficiency by erasing the variables of human behavior. You can only achieve it by designing systems that embrace that complexity.